Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here at Journey of Faith with Pam. I hope you're all having a great day. Not sure where you're at, but it is still pretty cold here. And I know we don't get as cold as a lot of places, but trust me, it's definitely pretty cold today. I'm going to get started. I actually have two Bible verses for us today. And once you see what I want to talk about, you'll understand why I put two out there. Um, the first one is from Jeremiah 29:11, and it reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for peace and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." You see, the good news is there are better times ahead. God has a plan for each and every one of us, even if our current circumstances are proving to be very difficult to deal with. He does have a plan for us, and it does include better times ahead. I just certainly feel that. I believe that. And that's one of the reasons that I'm on here. Is to let people know there are better times ahead. The second verse that I have is from 1 Corinthians 3:17. And it reads, "If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him. For God's temple is holy, and you are that temple." That tells us our bodies, we are. He doesn't want us to do anything to our bodies. He doesn't want us to harm ourselves, to do anything rash. And the reason I'm saying that is because of what happened earlier this week with Stephen Laurel Boss, better known as Twitch, who had apparently committed suicide. I just find this a very horrific thing. This was a man that you would think had everything in the world, but you never know what he's going through. You don't know what anyone else is dealing with. After more than a decade in Hollywood, Twitch died on December 13th, just a few days ago. He was only 40 years old. He was survived by his wife, Allison Holker, who was a contestant on the So You Think You Can Dance season number 2, and their 3 beautiful children. At first, it was reported by TMZ Boss' wife, Allison Holker, that she had contacted the Los Angeles Police Department after Boss suspiciously left their home without his car. Now, that tells me that she knew he wasn't going for a walk, and there could have been something in his behavior that rang alarm bells with her. Police later responded to a call about a shooting at a Los Angeles hotel where Boss was reportedly found with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. There's 2 things that this tells me. There was something going on with his behavior that his wife was suspicious about. And 2, he knew what he wanted to do. Not sure what he was battling, but one thing it tells me, when he went to the hotel, and he had to have walked there because he didn't take his car, he didn't want any of his gorgeous children or his beautiful wife to find him, so he checked into a hotel. You know, and he's not the only one. Look back to, what was it, April of this past year. Naomi Judd also had done pretty much the same thing, and she herself had admitted that she had struggled for years with mental health issues. There was an article that I read that was kind of from her husband's point of view of what it was like. One thing he said that really stood out to me is her husband said it was extremely hard. She had several therapists that she was seeing, and her energy level had gotten really low, and she really was so weak. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't do nothing. He also goes on to say, for the past 13 years or more, I was with her, he was with his wife, Naomi, 24/7. He was saying he never left the house without Naomi, knowing where he was going and when he would be back. As far as taking care of her myself, I'm not sure, he said, that it fits the situation. When you have a mate that has a mental illness, you walk that path with them. So if a person has some sort of a mental illness, it's not just them, it's their whole family, it's all of their loved ones. And what's sad is people that are in the public eye like them, sometimes we don't see it. We think everything is perfect. And how could, when they've got everything, it seems like they've got the world in the palm of their hand. How could they resort to something like this? Look back even at Robin Williams. Back in 2014, he took his own life. But there was an article that I read on him that his wife wanted everyone to know. And it was not discovered until after his death and during his autopsy. In October of that year, because he actually passed away in August of 2014. So in October of 2014, following the autopsy on his brain a few months before he passed, he had been given and been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Well, apparently that wasn't exactly what he had. He was actually diagnosed with a form of dementia which affects his brain. It's just so sad. And you look at people like these three individuals, like I said, you would think they had the world in their hand. But we don't know what's going on in their heads. We don't know what they're suffering from. The other thing that is very, very, very scary is studies show that someone like these three individuals, when they commit suicide, that afterwards the suicide rate goes up by over 14%. I mean, if you know of anyone, even if you think they're joking, whatever, please get them help. It's not worth it. There are numbers, there are places you can go. There is a suicide and crisis lifeline, just dialing 988. They have English, Spanish, and more languages if you need it. But if you feel you or yourself is at risk of harming yourself, or even, of course, someone else, or you know someone that is, please give them a call. Get them some help. These people, there are people that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if it means that you've got someone that is questionable and you think that someone is at risk, check in on them, go see them, whatever it takes. I mean, my word, if we could save just one person, get one person that to realize, look, life does get better. It will get better. But sometimes they just need some help. They don't know where to turn. There's no telling what goes through someone's head when they're in this form of crisis. But just reach out and touch someone, see what you can do for them. The other thing is that I was thinking about is because of the fact that here in California, we're in Central California, and because of how cold it is, what about these people that are living out on the streets? And we don't get nearly as cold as many places across the United States. But here the last several days, it's been at or below freezing every day. And there's so many people out on the streets. Do you know that at least 700 people a year that are living on the street are killed from hypothermia just because of extreme weather conditions? I mean, if you've got blankets, if you've got jackets, socks, shoes, gloves, anything, if you can help someone in need, oh my gosh, please do whatever you can to help someone. The other thing, of course, that they would definitely need, but I'm just talking right now because it's so cold, they always need warm, nutritious meals during these times. It's just so crucial. I mean, seriously, if there is anything at all that any of you can do to help another soul, please, by all means, please do so. This is imperative. At least I believe it is. So, like I say, if you can find it in your heart, if you know of someone that's in crisis, and maybe they're suffering from mental health issues, maybe, whatever the case, or if you see someone on the street, whatever you can do, if you can do it, by all means, please, please, if you can, just try and help out your brother and your sister. This is just something that after hearing that about this gentleman earlier in the week, and I was kind of reluctant to even mention it because it said that the more it's brought out, the more the likelihood of people doing copycats. And that's not my intention. My intention is to try and reach out to see if there isn't something, like I say, even if it's one person, if you've never suffered from mental illness, if you've never lived out on the streets, you can't imagine. But just try and put yourself in someone else's shoes. And whatever you can do, if you can do it, please, by all means. May God bless you all and have a great day. Bye-bye for now. Love you all.